Welcome back to my channel. It's Plain Decoded. Thanks for watching and subscribing and liking, and please share. And if you do like what I do, please consider supporting me on Patreon. It's patreon.com/plaindecoded. That also gets you into my Discord. And I haven't made a video in a while because I've been waiting for some good games to come through, and there's just not any good ones coming through. Because what I mean by that is, like, I want games to be isolated. The better the game is if it's an isolated game, and right now there's not very many isolated games, so I'm going to just attempt to do one in NHL today. And in my opinion and in my experience, and I have a theory, is that the first game of the day, in a game with many games that share the same chart, if it's on a different hour, then that game usually gets the priority of the astrology, because there's many games going on today, but the Senators and the Red Wings play an hour before any other game starts, even though they all share the same start time locally. I think that they'll get the priority from the heavens above. So I'll talk about that game here, and it's going to be in Ottawa. It starts at 7:07 local time in Ottawa, February 27, 2023, and the Senators are pretty big favorites. I think they're minus 140. Let's see. Oh, they're minus 125. So not too big of favorites, but they're favorites and at home, so that's good. And so I'll just go through the assignments of the houses. So the first house has Virgo in it, ruled by Mercury, and the 10th house has Gemini in it, ruled by Mercury. So the first house, the favorite and the home team, Ottawa, gets Mercury as its ruler, and there's only one ruler for that side. And on the away team, the Red Wings, they have Pisces in the 7th house, and that's ruled by Jupiter, and Sagittarius in the 4th, and that's ruled by Jupiter. So it's Jupiter versus Jupiter versus Mercury. And then what to look for is what those planets are doing, and what the moon is doing, and what the part of fortune is doing, and the antiscia of the part of fortune, and the outer planets as well. You have to have a lot of fortune on. You don't need to have this on. You do need to have that on. Deacons you don't need on, but you do need reverse day and night on, because the sun is set and then the formula needs to remain consistent. When the sun is not set, the formula is correct, but when it's set, the site reverses it. So always put reverse day and night on when the sun's set. You can see the sun is set right there. Okay, so let's look for Mercury. Mercury is down here, and the moon, it's applying to Mercury actually. So the moon is trine Mercury, 8 degrees and 24 minutes applying, but that's too far away. It can't be more than 4 degrees to 5 degrees away. And then the antiscia of Mercury is down here. It's near the south node, which is a little bit detrimental to the first house's significator, so that's a little bit bad for the Senators. And now we'll look for Jupiter, and Jupiter it's in the 7th house. It's not in the same sign, and it's far away from the cusp. It's not doing anything, and the moon is separating from a sextile to it. And then the antiscia of Jupiter it's in the 12th house. It's not too close to the first cusp, and so that shouldn't be a big deal. But here we have the moon, right? So the moon is at 16 degrees and 38 minutes, and the antiscia of Jupiter is down here in Virgo. And you can scroll down a little bit to this part where it has the degrees of all the antiscia, and you can see that Jupiter is at 18 degrees and 21 minutes. So the moon is applying to square Jupiter. So that's a good testimony for the dog, because Jupiter rules the 7th house. And then the part of fortune is down here, and nothing is applying to it that should matter. The antiscia of the part of fortune is close to the cusp of the IC, which is good for the dog. So that's 2 testimonies for the dog. But it's a little bit far away at 7 minutes after the hour, which is the start time on my app, on my bookie app. And usually most games start at that time, but I think in Ottawa they tend to start at around 12 after, which is really good for the underdog because the antiscia of the part of fortune is even closer. Neptune is on the DSE, and that's not supposed to do anything of any consistency except for it likes the Fav. And then, yeah, that's it. So looks good for the underdog, the Red Wings here, and I'm going to take the Red Wings to win this game, and they play back to back, and I think that they probably win tomorrow as well. But I'm just gonna I might not make a video about that because they don't start at a separate time. So like if you look at today, they start in my time, but locally on the East Coast it's 7, and then Dallas is at a different time zone, but it starts at 7:30 local in their time zone. So they all have the same chart. Edmonton, that has the same chart, but it starts at 6:30 local. Like if I go through all the charts here, so you can tell that they have the same chart because here's Ottawa and Virgo is rising. And then if it loads up, hopefully it loads up quickly. So here, yeah, that's Ottawa again. Whoops. Ottawa again. So here's Dallas. So at the time locally when they start at 7:37 local, Virgo's on the ascendant, right? It's still rising. And on all the other games, Virgo's rising as well. Here's Edmonton. Here's Virgo rising at 6:30. And so on and so forth for the rest of the games today. So they all show the same ascendant, but they're not all going to have the same result, right? They're all going to have different results. But in all these games, the moon will be applying to Jupiter, but not all the games will have the dog win. So that's why I always see that usually the first game gets the priority, and then what distinguishes the other games, I don't know. It tends to be, in my opinion, the different aspects of the part of fortune. But I like this game today, so I like the Red Wings to win. And they're not that big of dogs, so there's a good chance that they could upset here. So I'll take the Red Wings to win. And then also, if not today, tomorrow, then definitely Dominik Kubalik should score because he's on 16 goals, and tomorrow is the 59th day of the year, and that's the 17th prime number, and Ottawa equals 17. So if he doesn't score today, for sure tomorrow he's going to score. And I like Dylan Larkin to get a point today because it's the 58th day of the year, and he's on 57 points. So at least he'll get a point. He's probably not going to be, you're probably not going to be able to get him less than 1.5 for points, but he might score as well today. And definitely Dominik Kubalik tomorrow. And if Lucas Raymond scores today, I would take him tomorrow because he's going to be on 16 if he scores today, and then 17 tomorrow. The 17 in Ottawa smashes, and because it's the 59th day of the year, the 17th prime number, that's going to work out really good for tomorrow. Okay, thanks for watching. Let's go Red Wings, and hopefully I'll get more videos out in the future, and we'll talk to you later.